Ahoy, shipmates, Facebookers, YouTubers, and people who know and love bees. B-E-Z-Z-E-S's. Bees. Captain Jack knows about bees. Billy Bones, the beekeeping parrot, with his girlfriend that came over from Vicksburg, and a bunch of ducks. I got my duck ring on. Got my duck ring. Got it turned on. Got my duck light over here in case I ever need it. Ducks can see in the dark, evidently. Okay, so yesterday, among the things that were going on at Papa Skinny's farm, one thing was my daughter was made fig preserves, and then we'd gone out and picked about 5-gallon buckets. They had gone out and picked them up of muscadine, so we made all this wonderful muscadine jelly. And if muscadines and scoponogs don't grow wild in your part of the country, shame on you. Oh, that makes some terrific jelly. But I also had time during that period of time, to extract some honey. So we took 7 frames. We built our own bee hives here, the frames and all that stuff. And a frame is what slides in the hive, and the bees use it to make their cells and fill them with honey, or cells that they have with the larva to replace the worker bees or whoever it is. So anyway, took 7 of them. And the process is, first you scrape off gently the cap. The bees will fill a cell full of honey. Then if the water content maybe is too high, they will sit there with their wings bzzz, until the moisture level drops down to correct. Then they'll cap it off with another piece of wax, which is called the cap. So you scrape the caps off, saving the cap, because the caps are used for a lot of things. They're used for making beeswax candles. They're made in making lip balm, chapstick, all sorts of stuff for use for bees for the caps. Okay, so you scrape it all off. You put all 4 of the, or 4 at a time, of the frames in an extractor and turn the wheel. Well, of course, centrifugal force pushes the honey out. It goes out and runs down into the reservoir. Then you turn those over. You take off the caps on the other side, because both sides have been capped, and you do the same thing. So now you have decapped and dehoneyed the A side and the B side. Then you do it again. You run the A side real fast through it, and you run the B side through it real fast to get all the honey out. So you just do that until you're through. Then you take the honey, that you lift the extractor up, and in this case is at the old farmhouse, and we put it up on the table, and you have a 5-gallon food grade bucket. In that we have a really fine filter, extremely fine filter, and you pour the honey out of the extractor through the bottom spigot, and then it filters through, and da-da. Now, this hive we took that over to a gentleman who has red clover, and oh man, this honey it's just beautiful stuff. Honey comes in different colors compared to what kind of nectar the bees are bringing in. This is just, it's almost pure white. I mean, just honey colored. You do that, and then you take the bucket. And the reason we strain it, there's no need to strain it. We do in case there's little bitty pieces of the caps, that fell in there. And then you put the lid on the bucket and leave it for 24 to 48 hours. If there was any little bitty pieces that somehow got through that microscopic mesh, it'll float up to the top, and you just scoosh it off. Then you cap it. You put it in jars, and oh my gosh. Now, our policy here at the farm is to eat all we can, and we sell the rest. By the way, I just ordered yesterday little bitty jars, little bitty tiny jars. And I'm going to use those. I'm going to, make 6 or 7 for samples, and sort of like a lick of the lolly, just enough to do a little bit and just see how good this stuff is. Okay, so that's what we did. This is what the video that's coming up is about. Now, I know it's all chopped up, and I'll try to get it, I'll try to edit it better. But until then, till later on, Captain Jack, wearing his beekeeper hat, Billy Bones the parrot, beekeeping parrot, his girlfriend from Mississippi, frogs, Billy Bones Jr. Oh, ducks! We got ducks. I got them. We got. Here's another duck I haven't shown you. Quack. Another duck. Okay, so until then, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you mashed the like button if you did. If you didn't enjoy it, just go away. Please don't do anything. Jack saying until next time, adios.
The real benefit of local unpasteurized honey is that it still has tiny bits of the pollen in it that the bees have gathered from the trees and the shrubbery and the flowers and so forth. And that pollen is what you react to when you have an allergy. So if you get local honey and you take just 1 teaspoon a day, every day, 1 teaspoon, then your body builds an immunity to that pollen. It doesn't react, so you don't get the allergic reaction, which is the allergies that plague us. So just eating local honey. It needs to be from here, not from China, and not pasteurized. And then that honey will help with your allergies.
Okay, well, what this is taking the caps off. You have to take the caps off because that's got the keeping the honey in there. The bees don't cap it until it's the right moisture content. If the moisture content is too low, it's too high, then it'll ferment, and that's not good. If it's just in a jar, it's not that good. And so you know the honey is ready when it's capped. And so this is taking the caps off, otherwise the honey can't come out. It's like trying to get something out of the jar without taking the lid off. Bee yard?
No.
Should have to show you.
We've got to do a total of how many of these?
14.
Well, we've got
14.
7 frames. So
7
there's
frames, 2 sides.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
But
that's
after
great.
4 frames, then
Four frames, you spin it.
you spin it.
Looks,
It's dipping on the
After 4
floor.
frames,
you'll extract.
Dipping
Yeah.
on the floor. We did that a lot.
several times about getting the bees back over there.
Yeah, as long as you don't spray it with Agent
Too
Orange.
Has
Hell,
he said that since we've been out there? No.
Yeah,
Hasn't said anything to me about that.
see the stuff that you're seeing there after Ron takes the caps off, and that's honey. And he'll do 4 frames. There's a side A, side B, or side 1 or side 2 to each frame. So you'll do 4 of them, and then you run the extractor. And you see the stuff that's on the blade or on the little comb thingy bodgy Terry's got in her hand. She'll bring it right down. But okay, we up. Whoa, that's the wax from that the bees have used to seal off the cells with. And I'm gonna tell you what, it's some real good eating. You just chew the wax, and then by the way, you use it for making candles. Ron said chapstick. There's all sorts of stuff you use beeswax for. And beeswax candles, of course, burn cleaner than synthetic ones do. Of course. Yeah, one thing that just brought to my attention is that, remember, there is no larva in any of these cells. A cell that has honey in it doesn't have any larvae in it. So we're not butchering little bitty bees here or anything like that. This is just honey, the cells with honey. You see the honey just pouring down? A lot of honey. This came from Ron put this hive over on a field full of red clover. So it should be some really pretty honey. Related. Okay, they're getting ready. You got one side of the 4 frames done. You saw them take off the caps. Now they're starting to spin the extractor.
You might want to get the camera up and open the lid. You can see the honey slinging out.
The whole frame.
We got another camera.
Running?
Yeah. Okay, that's what the extractor is doing. You see, it's just pulling the centrifugal force. I think that's a law in physics or something like that. And there it goes.
See it there at the bottom.
Can you see down at the bottom? No. Can you see all the way at the bottom, y'all? Yeah, there it is. See the honey? Okay, turning it off for a minute. Okay, here Ron is working on the back side of the second frame, and you can just see all the honey just rolling out of there. So we're going to get a lot of pretty good honey out of this first rendering, or extraction actually is what it's called. Might even sell this honey on YouTube. I never know. Go that way. Okay, this is the B side of number 3, and look at the honey just running out of there. See it? Look at all that honey. Tell you what the trouble is.
A little bit. You kind of aim at the side.
See the honey just coming out? Boy, it smells good right here above the extractor. See it forcing all the honey out? Had a flat tire. See down at the bottom, all that, that's all honey. Pure honey. And now they're going to spin it again, turn them around and spin it again. Okay, that was the first part of the bee honey extraction. So you take the frames, those are the things you saw that Ron and Terry had in their hand. You knock off the top of it, that's the little caps. Because when the bee fills the cell with honey, then they'll cap it. Duh. So you scrape that off. You keep that, by the way, that doesn't get thrown away. No, 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 that doesn't get thrown away. Then you run it through the extractor, centrifugal force will pull the honey out of that. You turn it around, do the same thing on the other side, and you do it again. And you do it a total of twice on each side to get all the honey out. Then the next step, they have taken the frames out in the back of the yard, and they're going to leave them out there. And the bees will come and they will lick them clean. They will clean them right up. Then they'll go back into the hive for the next bunch of honey. So that part's over. Now this part is the straining of the honey. We'll take the extractor, just lift it up on the table, and it has, as you know, or I'll show you, a spigot at the bottom, and they will filter the honey through that spigot. Okay. Okay, we're getting down to about the bare minimum now. We're going, of course, as you know, honey, you see honey flowing slow. That doesn't mean it flows slow. People put it in the ice box, and then it won't flow at all. But you see how light and pretty this honey is? That's going to make some good honey. Or that already is some good honey. And that's Abby's head you keep on seeing. Now what we don't get, what we can't get, the extractor will go outside and they'll take the top off of it, and the bees will come and they will clean it right up better than we could even scrub it clean. So it goes, the honey goes back to the bees, and they don't waste any honey.
We'll let this sit in the bucket for 24 hours and just let it settle. Any bubbles that are in it, that kind of stuff, any tiny little particles of wax that made it through the sieve, those will all float up. It's very slowly because it's very viscous. And those will float to the top and make kind of like a foam it'll look like on the top. And we'll scrape that foam off and then we'll bottle it. And that's all the processing there is to the honey. There's no heat processing. The stuff you get in the stores has been heat processed, pasteurized. Of course, that takes out a lot of the good nutrients and so forth out of the honey. So this will be just natural honey right out of the comb, just cleaned up, made look pretty, and put in the bottle.